who's actually going to get the most out of this Fluance RT81 Plus turntable paired with the Ai81 tower speakers, and who should just keep scrolling? Is the bundle a smart spend for someone who just wants a decent vinyl night on the couch, or does it belong in the dedicated listening room of a serious hobbyist? Those are the questions that keep most buyers up at night, and the answer isn't as simple as it sounds good on paper. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon, so you can see the exact specs before you decide. When you're standing in the electronics aisle or scrolling through endless listings, the biggest fear is ending up with a system that either sounds flat in a real living room or takes up more space than you have. I've spent the last few weeks setting up a mid-size apartment with a modest bookshelf, a small coffee table, and a couple of vinyl records I rescued from my parents' attic. The goal was to see whether the Fluance bundle could actually deliver a night-and experience that feels a step up from cheap Bluetooth speakers, without needing a dedicated audio cabinet or a wall of acoustic treatment. First, let's talk about the turntable itself. The RT81 Plus comes with Audio-Technica's VM95E cartridge right out of the box, which is a solid step above the entry-level cartridges you usually find on budget decks. In everyday use, that translates to a clearer, more detailed groove tracking that you can actually hear when you play a well-pressed record from the 70s. The 3 adjustable isolation feet and the acrylic mat work together to keep the platter from picking up the vibrations from a squeaky floor or a nearby subwoofer. In my own setup, that meant I could sit a few feet away on a couch and still hear the needles whisper without a distracting hum, something that's often a deal-breaker for people who live in apartments with thin walls. Now, the speakers. The Ai81 towers are built around two 6.5-inch woven glass fiber drivers, a dedicated neodymium tweeter, and a natural walnut cabinet that tries to blend into a living room aesthetic. What that combination does in practice is give you a surprisingly rich mid-range and a bass response that feels full without being overwhelming. When I dropped a classic rock record like Dark Side of the Moon into the turntable, the bass from the Money intro filled the room in a way that made the walls vibrate just enough to feel immersive, but not so much that you'd need to turn the volume down to avoid rattling picture frames. The tweeters add a nice sheen to the highs, so the cymbals on a jazz record don't get lost in the mix. So, who should buy this bundle? If you're someone who already has a few records, wants a turntable that doesn't require a separate phono preamp, and is looking for speakers that can double as a TV audio solution, this could be a very comfortable match. The integrated amplifiers mean you only need to hook up a single set of speaker cables to your wall outlet and you're ready to spin vinyl or stream music from a phone. For a small to medium living space, the Ai81's footprint is manageable. They stand about 3 feet tall, so they fit in a corner without dominating the room. If you enjoy hosting casual listening parties, the built-in amplification can drive the room without needing a separate receiver, which keeps the whole system simple and less intimidating for newcomers. On the other hand, if you consider yourself a true audiophile who spends hours tweaking placement, calibrating crossover settings, and swapping out cartridges for the absolute best, you'll probably find the bundle a bit limiting. The cartridge, while good, isn't upgrade ready. The tone arm is designed to work best with the included VM95E. Swapping to a higher-end cartridge would require a different alignment and could negate the isolation benefits built into the deck. The speakers, too, are tuned for a balanced sound that pleases most ears, but they lack the ability to adjust bass or treble independently, something you'd find on higher-end tower speakers with external EQ. If you have a dedicated listening room with acoustic panels, you might notice the cabinets aren't as refined as a custom-built system, especially in the extreme low-frequency range where the glass fiber drivers can sound a touch boxy when pushed to high volumes. One practical weakness that showed up in my daily routine was the need for a stable power source. The Ai81's internal amps draw a decent amount of wattage, and on a tight apartment circuit you might notice a faint hum if you plug the speakers into a strip that's already powering a TV and a gaming console. The fix is simple: use a dedicated outlet or a quality surge protector, but it's an extra step that some first-time buyers overlook. Another consideration is placement. The speakers perform best when they have at least a foot of breathing room behind them, Putting them flush against a wall will mute some of that deep bass punch and could make the mids feel congested. If you're planning to place them on a